You're a young, innocent kid. It's 2009. You're in your family's computer room and all of a sudden you discover YouTube. At this point, it's just funny cat videos and some like little piece of shit got his finger bit. But then because of all that Pop Tropica and Club Penguin, you've grinded. You've got your IQ up and an idea pops in your head and you realize something. You can watch anything on YouTube. So you proceed to look up your favorite show and realize by just adding the words full episode at the end of anything, a whole new door opened up. And this opened a gateway to everything. All of a sudden, Pokemon, the Clone Wars, anything and everything is all at your fingertips and you're watching everything out of order. And this monster has grown into something out of control. You're watching parts of episodes out of order and you don't care until the little monster that is internet started becoming a bigger part of your life and you realize something. Oh shit, I've spoiled everything for myself. And this carries over into adulthood and all of a sudden you're watching every anime, everything you can find, every TV show off 123 movies, 9 anime, it all. And then you realize that you gotta hide from this monster. You gotta hide from this thing because you will spoil everything for yourself. Yeah, this analogy is kind of taking on a life of its own, but there's a message in there somewhere. Something, you got something out of that. I don't really know. But it's like 2018, 2019, and everyone has like a warlord of anime in your friend group. He's the old guy with the beard. He gatekeeps everything. He's not allowed to watch like One Piece and Naruto and like it. He's been reading Berserk and Vagabond way before the rest of you can even like conceive the idea of reading manga. And he told me in this room, he was like, man, there's this manga called Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm telling you, man, it's gonna be one of the best anime ever. This is day one. And then what happens? Jujutsu Kaisen comes out and this kid goes on and he was like, I told you, man, I told you that this was gonna be the biggest. I'm like sitting there like, Jujutsu Kaisen, right? I see this kid on the subway, this little opener. I see it on Twitter. I see it everywhere. I'm like, yeah, man, I don't know. I'll watch it one day. I must have watched the pilot like 3 or 4 times and I was like, yeah, man, like this is all right. But like for one, I could recite the entire pilot because of how many times I just watched it. And I was like, yeah, I don't really know about it. Until I started watching it a little more and eventually I was like, let me actually give this a real shot. And I did and I liked it. I liked it a lot. I was like, this Gojo guy is crazy. This Megami guy is cool. This Itadori guy is okay, but still kind of cool. I'm from the perspective where Naruto is my favorite anime, and I know a lot of people are like criticize Jujutsu Kaisen. They're like, Jujutsu Kaisen is just like Naruto. And I was sitting there like, yeah, it's similar, and I don't have a problem with that. I want to watch Naruto rehashing this darker world anyways. And at that time, you had shows like Black Clover and My Hero. They were at peak a few years before, and they've come down because people realized that they were mid. And then as I'm watching this show and getting into it, I realized this show is really built different. And the point that I really thought that with Mojito, Mojito? I'm gonna call him Mojito. I don't know if that's his name, but the guy with the stitches, and like if that's not how you pronounce it, I was like, holy shit, that kid really is dead. Like the kid that the main character is supposed to save is dead. Not only that, they actually killed off Itadori, kinda, sorta, not really, obviously, and he was actually removed from the story and it had a big impact on the characters in the world. I was like, this is a fire show. This is crazy. This could be peak. This is the best of the new gen. And you have to think, at that point, what was coming out? Demon Slayer. And Demon Slayer, of course, was not as peaked in my mind. I was like, this is the most generic show. If you could create a generic show, that is it. Of course, Demon Slayer Season 2 completely flipped my whole head on that. And the end of Season 1 was good too. It built up to the big moment with Rui. But Demon Slayer Season 1 was not really me. And I was like, man, do I just need to watch older shows? Do I need to just watch like Hunter x Hunter and Attack on Titan? Like, am I never gonna find anything? And Jujutsu Kaisen was that. It was like heroin. I was an addict and I was like injecting the best black tar heroin into me that I could find. And Jujutsu Kaisen took its time. It did things well. The animation was unique and sick until Mappa started animating everything. But it was still sick in my mind. I had no problem with the fact that Jujutsu Kaisen was similar to a lot of shows. And at that point, it was one of the first super dark shonen where it walked the line between like seinen and shonen. Now, if you want to get into the difference of that, I can't because I really don't know the difference that much besides the fact that seinen is really crazy and bloody. So it was one of the first trend of this dark anime that we've seen with. Turns out Hell's Paradise, Chainsaw Man, and of course, the greatest manga of all time, Kagurabachi. It was taking on a whole life of its own, and Jujutsu Kaisen really brung that all in and showed the world that, yeah, you can do this dark stuff and shonen fans will eat it up and love it. And it was unique, and the points with gag scenes were funny and interesting, even though there was a lot. Like there was a lot in the first season. And of course, I was like, okay, I'm super uber duper hyped for season 2. And season 2 comes around and you start off and you got Gojo and Geto and they're young and it's sick and it's cool and you see them going crazy and then you're like, oh, nah, Geto's going down a bad path. Then you're like, oh, nah, Gojo is also crazy. And then you're like, wait, what? She just died? And then Gojo dies, and you're like, bro, Geto is about to die. How does he not? And then you're like, wait, Gojo is him. Gojo can't die. Then you're like, but Toji is so cool. Like, Toji can't lose here. Toji has to come back. Then Gojo blows up Toji, and you're like, what is going on? This is peak. And then everyone is talking about Shibuya. And then you remember that weird analogy I was making at the beginning of the video on that monster? That's the internet. Internet is going crazy. Like, Shibuya is this. Shibuya is peak. Shibuya is everything. You need to watch Shibuya. And I'm like, so I'm sitting there carefully watching Shibuya, and I started making more JJK videos, and people are like, yeah, nah, don't catch up to the manga. Like, if you're not caught up to Shibuya yet, just watch Shibuya and then catch up. It'll be fine. It'll be okay. And I was like, all right, man, take your word for it. Okay. I won't get spoiled on anything. I'm gonna be careful. Sitting there, like, as I'm making this channel, I have accounts that are super deep in the anime world, and I'm sitting there like, man, there's no fucking way I'm not gonna get spoiled on this shit. There's no way that I can get spoiled, and there's no way I'm not gonna get spoiled. And of course, if it hasn't been clear, I am an anime only, by the way. And anime only is obviously the monster that is manga. It's crazy, and the manga fans like to talk and talk and talk and talk, and I'm sitting there mad scared. But they all did say, don't read if you haven't watched Shibuya yet. And I'm like, dude, there's no way I'm not gonna get spoiled. So then I hear about Gojo versus Sukuna, and I'm like, yeah, Gojo versus Sukuna is going on. Not the end of the world, right? You're sitting there gaslighting yourself, like, yeah, I could have thought of that. Like, Gojo and Sukuna were gonna fight. It's not that crazy. Yeah, and similarly enough, I did a similar tactic when I got Iron Man dying at the end of Endgame. I was like, obviously he was gonna die. All the trailer showed he was gonna die, as I'm crying to myself that I got it spoiled. And then the newest JJK leaks came out. I'm on my YouTube channel's Twitter, and I see that Gojo is and this just made me lose my mind. I was like, all of them told me to not read the manga, and all of them said to wait, and now I have it spoiled. And it's like, no, how can you be an anime only in this space, in this world? You cannot be a creator and be an anime only. There's no way you're not gonna get it spoiled, and it sucks because it ruins everything. I'm sitting here watching Shibuya like, man, I should just read up. I should just read up to this point. And the warlord of the group, I went, because of course you have to confine, and you have to ask like, what should I do? What do I do? And he told me, he was just like, just watch it, man. Don't even read. It's still not reading. Shibuya is the best arc. It's better than what's going on. And I'm sure he was lying. I'm sure he was just telling me that to make me feel better. And I was sitting there like, how am I supposed to watch this whole show knowing what happens to Gojo? How can you be an anime only and really expect to not get it spoiled? Especially when you upload content, you might be like, bro, you're crazy for thinking that was possible. And you're right, I am. Honestly, has it ruined my JJK experience so far? Not it sucks, because I really like JJK. In my mind, Jujutsu Kaisen is one of the best new shows coming out right now, and it's also the most popular. I have so much fun making JJK videos. Pipe down One Piece fans. It's okay, let them have it. They're the most popular. Gear 5 is done. Who cares? Give them a break. Let Jujutsu Kaisen have it. You're about to go through a really weird part in your arc. Settle down. Jujutsu Kaisen has been one of the best shows to go every Thursday. Watch it, and I'm sitting there now not as excited as I used to be, but it's my own fault. There's nothing I can do about it. But do I catch up to peak manga? Do I actually sit down and like, yeah, I'm gonna read all of Jujutsu Kaisen? It's a decision I don't know how to make. I think when you're watching something and you like something, you have to sit there and really ask yourself, what is the best thing for me to do in this situation? And I think after Shibuya, man, you're gonna see a lot of first-time reader reaction on this channel. I need to see what happens. I need to see how Gojo really... Where's Megami in this? Where's Nobara in this? Where's Itadori in this? That's the most ironic part about Jujutsu Kaisen, is all the spoilers I'm getting on the manga. It's like, is Itadori even in the story? Is Itadori even the main character anymore? I know there's memes about Gojo being the main character, but what now? And how is Sukuna fighting if Itadori is there? How is that happening? How is this fight even at what? Where is Itadori? There's so many questions I have, and unfortunately now I need to go search for answers. In case you're also confused and you want to watch a video on something that you haven't watched before, go check out this video of me trying to gaslight you into thinking Boruto isn't that bad. And if you enjoyed this video, drop a like, subscribe, and don't forget, we're just getting started, we're gonna stay consistent, and I'll see you in the next video.